You ever notice how a simple, kind of dramatic answer to a super complex problem just feels right? Well, today we're going to dig into that. We're going to explore that powerful pull and figure out why our brains are so drawn to a simple story. I mean, think about it. When we're staring down a really messy problem, our minds just scream out for one clean, straightforward explanation. So, what is it? What's going on with that simple narrative that gives us such a powerful sense of relief? That's really the question at the heart of what we're talking about today. Okay, so to start, we've got to just acknowledge something. We are constantly surrounded by these huge, complex, overlapping problems. I'm talking everything from global politics to our own personal health, right? Things are almost never as clear-cut as we wish they were. And that right there is where that seductive, simple answer sneaks in. And here's the real tension, right? Reality is just messy. It's chock full of nuance, conflicting data, and a whole lot of we just don't know yet. But a simple answer, oh man, it just slices right through all that noise. Think about a lot of conspiracy theories. They offer you a clear villain, a clear motive, a super tidy story. It's like this little oasis of order in a huge desert of chaos. So, why is that neatness so incredibly appealing? Well, listen, it's not a personal failing. This isn't about you being lazy or anything. It's actually a feature of our brain's hardware. Our minds are literally designed to save energy, and one of their absolute best tricks is to flip on what we can call story mode. Yeah, it all comes down to this thing called a cognitive shortcut. Just think of your brain as being like super efficient. It's trying to save battery life, you know? So instead of burning all this precious energy analyzing a mountain of complex evidence, its default setting is to find a quick story that just makes sense of the data. And let's be honest, dramatic stories are way easier to remember and process than a long, boring list of facts and figures. And this whole process, it follows this really well-worn path in our minds. So first, you face something that's just confusing, right? Then your brain starts searching for a simple narrative to explain it away. After that, it latches onto the most dramatic story it can find. You know, the one that's memorable and really hits you emotionally. And then, click. You get that feeling of understanding, and it brings this incredible wave of relief and certainty. The puzzle feels solved. But here's the crucial point, and this is really important. That shortcut isn't the only path we can take. We actually have a choice here. And it's not about being smart or not smart, not at all. It's about which mental process we choose to engage with. And this leads us to two totally different ways of thinking. So on one side, you've got the story seeker. This is our brain's default mode, right? It just grabs the first compelling explanation it hears. It's always looking for drama. It absolutely craves certainty, and its main question is, does this feel right? But then on the other side, you've got the fact checker. Now, this is a much more deliberate, energy-intensive process. The fact checker challenges first impressions. It hunts for actual evidence. It's okay with a little uncertainty, and most importantly, it asks, is this actually true? And this quote really just gets to the heart of why this whole distinction matters so much. See, engaging with reality and, making any kind of actual progress, it all depends on our willingness to take that harder path, the path of the fact checker. A mind that only accepts the dramatic story, well, it just stays stuck. It's unable to really grasp the real problem, which means it can never find a real solution. Which brings us to the real stakes of this mental tug of war that's going on inside our heads. That amazing feeling of certainty we get from a simple answer, it's not free, not by a long shot. It actually comes at a very high price. So when we just default to that easy, simple, dramatic story, here's what we're sacrificing. We lose the ability to understand what the real problem even is. We lose the capacity to find a solution that could actually work. We lose the opportunity for any genuine progress. And at the end of the day, we risk trading reality itself for a comfortable but totally made-up fiction. So what's the big takeaway from all this? Really, it's about a shift in mindset. The goal of thinking isn't about that instant gratification, that rush you get from feeling like you're right. No, it's about the difficult, ongoing, but ultimately way more rewarding process of getting closer to what's actually true, even when that truth is super complicated and maybe even a little uncomfortable. And that leaves us with one final, really powerful question to ask ourselves. The next time you're faced with some complex issue and a simple, satisfying answer just pops up, just take a moment, pause, and ask yourself this. Is this answer correct, or is it just comfortable? Because the difference between those two, well, that's everything.